Is Him the most underrated film of the year? Let's find out. A young football player who has the potential to be the GOAT. He's then struck by a goalpost and he suffers a pretty bad injury, causing him not to be able to showcase his skills to get drafted. The GOAT, Isaiah White, in this fictional San Antonio Saviors, wants to spend a week with Cameron Cade to prove he's got what it takes to be the GOAT and have him take over his position as quarterback for the Saviors. And then it really all starts to go to shit from there. I will say the cinematography is excellent overall. The editing has these nice quick cuts here and there, and then it really slows it down for the more dramatic scenes to play out. I did also really like the close-up shots in this film and the way the wides were really presented. And for an almost $30 million film, it looks visually great. The music in this film didn't really have a theme song that was very memorable or anything, but it does a really good job at amplifying all the chaos throughout this entire film. At times it almost seemed like it wanted to be more of a music video than an actual film, because when I first watched the trailer to this film, I thought, do they want to almost shoot like a commercial or something for the NFL? That's what it kind of seemed like at first, but then you start to watch this film, obviously it has nothing to do with that. And then the music overall, it just kind of fits the vibe of it, where it's this more modern kind of hip-hop rap kind of vibe. I will be honest, I did not think this film was going to be good overall. I did not. And I was actually pleasantly shocked at how good it was. And when I saw people not giving this good reviews or anything, I was actually kind of surprised. This is actually a decently good film that's come out, and people are just shitting on it. I'm thinking, it's not that bad. Why are people hating on this movie so much? Sure, it's not really a horror film overall. Thriller, psychological thriller kind of movie with some horror vibes to it. That's really it. I just saw other people's reviews and they said it was like confusing, it was lackluster, it sucked. And I'm like, it's not really that confusing overall. It's just one of those films that's just trying to be artsy fartsy, you know? But it's not artsy fartsy too much. The whole purpose of the film is to showcase how far you will go to succeed in something. That's really what this film is about.
Yes, I fucking want this! Then what are you willing to sacrifice? Everything!
I would probably say, be careful what you wish for. So when this film has him over at Isaiah White's place for 7 days, you just kind of knew there was gonna be some absolute fuckery. And I will say I was pleasantly surprised by Marlon Wayans that he could actually pull some decently good acting off, because I haven't seen him in a hot minute. And he's not a complete goofball.
Your mother's so old that her breast milk is powdered. You breastfeed like this.
Then you got Tyreek Withers here, who plays Cameron Cade, and he's pretty solid as well. It's just too unfortunate he was in that shit movie called I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is absolute garbage in comparison to this film. So people said, this movie was bad? No, that movie is bad. And in all honesty, I think he was probably the best actor in that film because everyone else was pretty well garbage. First day, he's having a good time with Isaiah White, and then the second day is where things start to get really weird. When he has to throw the football and someone has to catch it, otherwise the homie gets smoked in the damn face with a football, and he just takes it like an absolute champ. If I did see that, I'd be like, it's time for me to leave. But I think Cameron Cade's character was just really conflicted and he didn't really know what to do. So he's like, I guess I'll continue doing this, because a lot of people don't like conflict a lot of times. Then every other day it just seemed more and more weird shit happens. A lot of times I was thinking, is he just completely tripping? Because he did get smoked in the head. So you don't really know exactly what was going through his head the entire time. And then obviously some of the things weren't happening, but a lot of other things were happening. So it was definitely made you think of what is real and what isn't. And you could just honestly tell Cameron was like, I almost wish I never met my hero. Because Isaiah White is all types of fucked up. And he got homie giving himself some blood here and there to help with his performance. And it was like, what is this, some adrenochrome shit? And if you don't know what that shit is, just look it up because it's absolutely fucked up. I will say this film really pulled me into it because it made you see what people are actually willing to sacrifice for fame and fortune, and I guarantee you many people would probably do some weird shit like this. I guarantee it. And you could just tell lots of people like the Hollyweird people have really sold their souls. It was also interesting how the doctor dude in here was actually trying to help Cameron and telling him he should just basically dip the fuck out and get away from this place. It seemed like he already knew this place was all types of fucked up, and he seemed really jaded and slightly bitter, but was willing to do what was right until he got the old bye-bye, turn it off. Then Cameron goes to this party, and let's be honest, he probably shouldn't have gone to that. And it's one thing I learned was just, it's okay to go home and just read a book or some shit. You don't have to go to any weird ass parties that seem like they're in the underground. I really did enjoy how this whole film was basically just a ritual for Cameron to sell his soul to the devil. It's just really interesting how Hollyweird is showing this stuff, and they obviously do this stuff. They're like, yeah, we know this from experience, so we gotta show you guys what it's all about. And then him and Isaiah White fight, and he basically gives Isaiah White the bye-bye, turn it off. It almost seemed like he wasn't gonna win, but we all knew he was gonna get out of there. I guess as part of the ritual as well, is that he's gotta take out the predecessor essentially, and then continue the ritual, sign the contract. And I thought this whole thing was very interesting, how a lot of times is contracts like these or something that gives you fame or fortune really could be detrimental to your soul. It does seem at the end he gets somewhat cursed or possessed because he ends up giving everybody the old bye-bye, turn it off to all these damn sick fucks who obviously like to do some weird ass rituals with Satan. And it was nice to see his agent get the old bye-bye, turn it off when Cameron doesn't decide to sign the contract, so somebody had to take the sacrifice, and it turns out it was him. It was also interesting to see how they been basically grooming him from a very young age to be a big star and sign himself over to the devil. And I thought that was very fascinating. Like shit, they've been grooming him for a while now. Cause that's honestly what they probably do with all their damn Nepo babies as well. Or you know, their firstborns. You gotta sell your soul, you gotta be like, no, your firstborn is bye-bye, turn it off. And they probably wouldn't be making films like this if there wasn't any truth behind it. They just don't do that. They're just not gonna make up some shit and say, yeah, that's all completely just made up. No, there's definitely some truth behind this film. 100%. I guarantee you a lot of people have absolutely sold their souls. And there's some valuable lessons to learn from this film is don't go to weird parties, don't meet your heroes, and don't trust chicks with fucking weird eyebrows like Julia Fox. She was actually perfect to play a devil worshiper, and I'm glad she got the old bye-bye, turn it off. And it's interesting she looks like she already sold her damn soul anyway. The way she dresses and shit, I'm like, damn, this chick looks like the goddamn devil.
Your dumbass eyebrows.
I will say it kept me pretty entertained, and I went in with low expectations, and I came out really enjoying this film. And I don't watch a whole lot of sports either, because usually they're a waste of time for me anyway. But this one was surprisingly interesting and original. This movie has a 5.4 on IMDb, and I'm just really blown away it has that low of a score. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I think people just hated on it way too much. The entire time I'm thinking, this is a film that actually makes you think. It doesn't just tell you and spoon feed you everything. But the story itself is very linear. It makes a lot of sense. It's basically just his character going from wanting to be the best to having to go through this whole ritual with Isaiah White, and then to find out he's got to do some terrible ass shit to get there, and then he's like, nah, I'm not signing that damn contract. And then he basically makes everybody go bye-bye, turn it off. And it was very satisfying to watch that. Maybe it's because all these people were pieces of shit that were trying to groom this little kid, because that's some fucked up shit. And it's just mind-blowing for me to say that this was one of the better films this year. Out of all the people that hated this film, I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this film. It was a good time. And it deserves the 6.527 in my opinion. And it's such a shame that this movie didn't make more money than really it should have. We're in this weird time where a lot of people aren't watching films. They're not watching anything that's even original. There always gotta be something related to some fucking existing IP. And sometimes those films can actually bomb as well. So it just makes you think, like, what the fuck is going on? Am I in a different reality than other people? Because I've only seen hate about this movie, and that's it. Not many people are saying that this is a good film. Maybe I'm just the weird one here. And honestly, I wouldn't mind watching this again because I'd like to see it with some fresh eyes and just to see all the things I probably missed or probably some little clues in there.
Pop this jade egg in your pussy to maximize your orgasm.
If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And watch more fun videos here where I don't hold back the bullshit.